What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, September 26th, 2023, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now, it is 7:08 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some concerning statements coming from the Secretary General of the UN and also from Dmitry Medvedev, the former president of Russia, and also from the South Korean president and the North Korean ambassador. So I want to get you guys up to speed on the latest breaking news. We currently have a U.S. nuclear war command and control plane up in the air, and it's flying over the Gulf of Mexico. It just took off from Tinker Air Force Base. That's the home base of these planes. This is the Boeing E-6B Mercury, which is a nuclear war command and control plane. This plane can remotely launch all of our Minuteman III ICBMs, and it can also send out nuclear attack options and nuclear weapon launch orders to our submerged nuclear armed submarines. So, this is a very, very important plane, and it's currently over the Gulf of Mexico, probably communicating with a nuclear armed sub somewhere in this area. Now, we did have a good amount of emergency action messages so far today. I counted at least 20. I'm sure there were probably more, but that's a good amount. And an emergency action message is basically a nuclear attack option that is broadcasted to our Ohio class subs, which are nuclear armed. And we also had a U.S. presidential doomsday plane that flew from Stratcom in Omaha, Nebraska to Arizona, and it turned its transponder off when it got close to Tucson, right near the border with New Mexico. And I don't know where this plane landed. If anybody has any ideas, please let me know. But it basically just, went dark once it got near the Arizona New Mexico border near the Gila National Forest. So, very, very interesting. And we currently have a military airfield on fire in Russia near Moscow. This is the Chekhovsky military airfield. Apparently, it was hit maybe by some Ukrainian drones. But I want to just share with you guys some of the concerning statements made by various world leaders. So we're going to start with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, and he said this today on the final day of the UN General Assembly for 2023. He said, "A worrisome new arms race is brewing. The number of nuclear weapons could rise for the first time in decades. Any use of a nuclear weapon anytime, anywhere, and in any context would unleash a humanitarian catastrophe of epic proportions. Nuclear sabers are again being rattled. This is madness. We must reverse course." Okay. So Antonio Gutierrez, focusing heavily on the nuclear arms race, nuclear war. I mean, this is unusual for UN Secretary General. Usually they talk about climate change and world hunger and things like that. They don't talk about nuclear war. Okay. And last year he also basically said the same thing, but this year he emphasized it again. So I'm telling you guys, we are at the closest point ever in humanity to nuclear war. Okay. So make sure you have a nuclear war survival plan. Make sure you have a place that you can go to protect yourself from radiation, because it's the radiation that's going to be the most deadly thing during a nuclear conflict. It's not so much the blast or the thermal radiation that's going to really be dangerous. That will be dangerous. And don't get me wrong, that's going to be very dangerous if you're close to the detonation point. Okay, if you live very close to a nuclear war target, but for most people, it's the fallout radiation that's going to be the most dangerous thing. So you need to have some kind of a fallout shelter. The best case scenario is an underground structure, okay, whether it's a subway, a train station, a metro station, the basement of your house, the basement of an apartment building. If you don't have a basement in a building somewhere nearby, that's okay. If you find a building that is very heavily built, okay, it's built of reinforced concrete, it has multiple floors, okay, a tall building made of um, bricks and reinforced concrete, like a large apartment building with, let's say, 5+ floors. That's a good option. You get into the middle of that building and you want to get into the middle floors. Okay, so like if it's a 6-story building, you want to be around the third floor and in the center of the third floor. This way you have equal distance from the roof to the ground, because that's where the fallout is going to be. It's going to be on the roof and also on the ground, so you want equal distance, okay? But I have a lot of information on nuclear war survival on my website. You can check my website out. There's a link in the description below this video, NYPrepper.com. Also, you can check my How to Survive Nuclear War series, okay, which I'll leave a link in the top right corner. And I'm going to try to start writing a book on nuclear war survival. That's my goal, to publish a book on nuclear war survival. So be on the lookout for that. It's not going to be anytime soon, but that's something I plan to do. We also have some concerning statements coming from Dmitry Medvedev. Okay, he wrote on Telegram that Russia is being left with no choice but to go to war with NATO. So let me read to you exactly what he wrote. So he wrote, deliveries of Abrams tanks from NATO arsenals, promises of supplying long-range missiles like the ATACMS to the Kyiv authorities. It seems that Russia is being left with less and less choice but direct conflict with NATO, which has turned into an openly fascist bloc like Hitler's Axis, albeit larger. We are ready, although the result will be achieved at a much greater cost to humanity than 1945. Okay, wow. Those are some crazy words, guys, from Dmitry Medvedev, former president of Russia, and now he's the deputy chairman of the Russian National Security Council. So I'll read to you again what he said. It seems that Russia is being left with less and less choice but direct conflict with NATO. We are ready, although the result will be achieved at a much greater cost to humanity than in 1945. Absolutely insane. I want to read to you some concerning statements coming from the North Korean ambassador Kim Song, and he said this today at the UN General Assembly. He said that the Korean Peninsula is in a hair trigger situation with immediate danger of nuclear war breakout. Okay, that's what the North Korean ambassador said. The Korean Peninsula is in a hair trigger situation with immediate danger of nuclear war breakout. And the president of South Korea, Yoon Suk Yeol, said that if any nuclear weapons would be used by North Korea, that the North Korean regime would be brought to an end by the South Korea-US alliance. Okay, that's what the president of South Korea said. All right, very strong words from the South Korean president. So, guys, all these different fronts around the world are heating up. Okay, we have the Korean Peninsula, we have China and Taiwan. Okay, I just reported just a few days ago that China was doing drills right across from Taiwan, and they were staging some ferries that could potentially be used to transport troops and equipment for an amphibious operation. We have the situation in Ukraine. We have Iran and Israel. So things are just really getting crazy, guys. We're definitely living in the end times, that's for sure. The Netherlands plans to donate the first batch of F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine in 2024. This is coming from the Minister of Defense of the Netherlands, Kaisa Ollongren. So the Netherlands will be donating the first batch of F-16s to Ukraine in 2024. That's not too far away. And finally, I just want to share something cool. The U.S. Army has officially deployed a laser weapon system on their Stryker vehicles for the purposes of intercepting drones, missiles, and artillery at short distances. Okay, so here's a Stryker vehicle, and you can see on the top this object up here. Okay, and I guess this is where the lasers fire out of, and it's a 50 kilowatt laser. So it's a powerful laser, and again, it can take out drones, missiles, and artillery. So, I mean, this thing can basically take out anything from what it sounds like, anti tank missiles, artillery shells. I mean, it's just really impressive. Here's a closer look at that laser. Okay, so pretty impressive stuff, guys. And this is just the beginning. Okay, the U.S. military is always 50 years ahead. Um, so that's pretty much it, guys. I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned to my channel for continuing breaking news updates and prepping and survival and firearms content. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you get notified of new uploads. Other than that, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.